Hi, my name is Catherine Trent. I'm a graduate student at Liberty University, and I would like to talk about my ideas for technology and the future of higher education. I'd like to begin by talking about where we are right now. I'm recording this in December of 2020, at the height of the coronavirus pandemic. I'd like to talk about the coronavirus pandemic because I think it's a really interesting case study for what online education holds. As a result of the coronavirus pandemic, we've seen a lot of college students making a mass migration to online learning. As a result of the pandemic, a lot of colleges had to close or go fully online. And this is a technology that we have had access to for quite some time. In talking about the coronavirus pandemic, we can see that there is a need for mass online education. In addition, mass online education at this time has made students with disabilities realize that while they couldn't have been accommodated in the years prior, the technology to be able to accommodate students from home has existed for quite some time. Overall, I just think this is a really interesting time that we're in, seeing a mass migration to technology for school. When I think about technology in higher education, I have a few goals in mind. I think that technology can have an increased effect on student engagement. I think that it can improve educational access for students. It can offer flexibility for instructors and also provide opportunities for students to get creative. In a book I read recently called Generation Z Goes to College, they talk a lot about how Generation Z is really into technology. They've grown up with a phone in their hand and they're really into instant gratification. And some of our methods for teaching, like the lecture format and reading off of books, just doesn't work for them like it used to work for us. I think for students of Generation Z and students that come even later, they'll find an increase in engagement when using technology, the things that they're familiar with. In fact, many studies show that using technology can help leverage student engagement. Going back to talking about the interesting case study that is the coronavirus pandemic, we see a mass migration to online learning. There are a lot of what they're called MOOCs or mass online open source courses that are available in a widespread technological format. I think that improving educational access by offering mass online classes can be beneficial for students who can't move to campus, can't afford to go to campus, have to have jobs while they're on campus, have children, or have disabilities. A lot of online classes can also be offered asynchronously, meaning that you don't have to log in at any specific time. I think that that can improve educational access for many, many students who otherwise couldn't go to college in the traditional way. Lastly, with the new development of technology, that means that teachers don't have to teach and students don't have to learn in the same way that we've always learned. By integrating technology, we can move away from the lecture format or paper pencil homework and let our teachers flex their educational creativity and let students create assignments that are different than what we've seen before. We can offer classes in a variety of different formats, do more hands-on learning, and overall just improve educational quality. Personally, I'm in school because I have a passion for educational equity and accessibility. So I would like to talk now about how technology and accessibility go hand in hand. In his TED Talk in Baltimore, Kevin Manning says there are 7 billion people in the world, and there are also 7 billion cell phones. And he talks a lot about how technology in college could be on a cell phone. We could reach more people that way, low cost, and reach other countries where they may not have access to computers. What I would love to see happen in the future of higher education is to have mass online open source classes that would give geographic freedom to people who couldn't necessarily travel to college, flexibility for those with children, with jobs, and with disabilities. We could make it much more low cost because you wouldn't have to have a building, no faculty on site, nobody to clean the building. There are so many college students with disabilities who are struggling to keep up with the typical college layout. Going back to the coronavirus pandemic and seeing the mass move to online education makes me realize that we've had this technology all along, and it makes me sad for colleges who said that they couldn't make their classes accessible, less affordable, or more accommodating to these kinds of students. If we use our technology wisely and correctly, we have a way to make higher education work for everyone. Thank you.